Heart of Healing, the Healer's Journey, is brought to you by Family Health, a wellness company. Are you tired of being tired? Sick of living in a toxic home? Do you run out of money before you run out of month? Family Health can help. Call us at 212-978-3721. That's 212-978-3721. Family Health, a wellness company. Welcome to the Heart of Healing, the Healer's Journey. I am your host, Fuld. Join us for conversations with dedicated, compassionate, and loving healers. We will learn about a wide range of healing modalities and an even wider range of people who become healers. Listen as they tell us of the varied paths that have led them to the joyous healing work that they do. So today I'm very happy to have Orly Bendavid with me. Orly is a music therapist. Welcome, Orly.
Hello.
Now, the questions become amazingly easy. What is a music therapist? The answer may not be so easy, I understand, but...
A music therapist basically is a person who works with music in therapy. There are different kinds. There's music as therapy or music in therapy. And the goals are to have the client express themselves through music, in music, or as a result of some kind of music that they love and understand. Having that identification, connecting with emotions through the music.
So that's interesting because I've often thought about music as can be a very comforting thing, sit and listen and get quiet and things like that. Do you mean that in some way as part of what someone would do in a therapy session?
Yeah, it's so complicated because it's so complicated, and it's one of the reasons why I really enjoy music therapy, because there's so many different ways that we use music, and it really depends on the population that you're working with. Because music is comforting, music is healing, music is expressive, music makes you feel. And I've been lucky enough to work in many different settings. And so I've been able to see how many different ways music can be used. It's such a part of being a human, music. And in terms of the comforting aspect, I have seen music in hospitals and ICU with cancer patients, with patients who are dying, and I've been blessed enough to have worked in that setting. And the level of anxiety that exists from being in this environment, and how incredibly powerful the voice and music can be in helping these people calm down, go to sleep, lower blood pressure, lower heart rates. And this just, and this is very much live music. I mean, that could be also recorded, but just in terms of being trained to work with somebody in the moment.
Would you be working with an instrument also, or?
Yes, you could work with just voice. I've heard of some case studies in that way. But what I was doing was with guitar and voice, and some people have used ocean drums and voice, or just voice.
That's wonderful. Now, just if you can, when you talked about working with people who are dying, I've had the privilege of doing that also with meditation, guided meditation. And how did it happen? How does it come about that you were doing that?
This is probably one of the most powerful experiences of my life. I did my internship I won't say fast. I did my internship with cancer patients, and the music worked in so many ways. One way that was probably just the most powerful way was that working with family members and the client, and engaging in something called sort of like a song sharing.
Right.
Where the families of the patient and the patient themselves would choose songs, and either I would perform them, with the family unit, or they would sing them with me, and just sort of share those very important songs with their family members. And
These are songs, I assume, that they cared about, that they'd had in their life?
Yes. A lot of times just so poignant, the lyrics, and so sort of creating, just providing this like tangible, like, I want to say it, a song is a complete form, and with this complete form comes you can elicit certain kinds of emotions, and so being able to give a song to somebody, or dedicate a song to somebody, or sing a song with somebody, you're not only engaging in the process together, even if you're just listening, you're engaging in this process together. You're sharing some things that you might not be able to say. If somebody else is singing it, perhaps then it's safer that somebody else is expressing this. But it's very clear that you are giving this to a person, and that person is able to feel this, whatever feeling that song is eliciting. And it also creates a legacy because it lasts forever. And when you hear that song, you will always remember.
Remember that person.
Yeah.
Remember that. Yes, that's beautiful. And just so different from what necessarily has to be a kind of cold and sterile atmosphere of a hospital, or that kind of a room where someone's dying, but you make it warm.
It's magic.
That's beautiful.
Absolute magic. Just so incredible.
Now, clearly, one goes to school for this. Did you go to school? And it's all right to say what school.
I went to the New York University. Has a great program in music therapy.
I had heard that. Yes, yes. And so, how long does that program? How many years, or is it?
It's 2 years.
2 years.
And then in the state of New York, and some other states too, I'm not quite sure which states, you have to work for a period of 1,500 hours to get your creative arts therapy license. And
so that's the internship you were talking about? Is that?
No, you have to do an internship as a part of the master's program.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, you work. You get paid.
Oh, you do get paid. Okay.
You get paid.
Well, that's good.
Yes. Hopefully you get paid. But you get paid, and you acquire like supervised hours, and then you submit those hours to the state, and they grant you a license, which allows you to bill insurance companies or just practice psychotherapy. And it's a little unbelievable, quote unquote, because, I think, I'd like to say that it's very important that there is this license, because it's very important that the people who work in this field really know and understand and treat this with a lot of care, because you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with people, you're dealing with relationships, and so to really work on being trained in this is very important.
Care and dignity sounds like very important to this. And so you are trained, and you also had supervision. Do you continue to have supervision?
Yes, I have supervision today. I'm also a firm believer. Like, I believe that I constantly need to be taking a class or doing something, because there's so much to know.
A lot to learn, but also, I won't say but, and also, I noticed when we're doing the work similar in terms of meditation. The emotions in the room you sometimes take on yourself.
Yes.
And so it's good to have someone else, your supervisor, to go to and let go of some of those emotions and let that pass on so you can be clean and free to go to the next case.
Yes, very much so. It's to kind of objectify some of the things that you might be holding on to. I'm not in control of that. I don't need to take that.
Right.
It's not mine.
Yes. And it's not, I just came to my mind, but I'm sure you know this already. It's not your job to heal them. It's not your job to keep them from whatever, course they're on.
No, it's very true. The thing that I've, in my current position now is, my goal is to hopefully create an objective perspective, some awareness. That is the biggest thing. And the thing about music that's so wonderful, especially in songwriting or in lyrical analysis, which is taking a song that you love and really looking at the lyrics and trying to think, why does this touch me? Why do I identify with this? Why does this make me feel this certain way, or how does it make me feel? But it really kind of, sometimes we have feelings and then they just sort of disappear. They come and go.
They do indeed.
They do. That's the one thing about feelings. But being able to kind of conjure that back up again, there's a song that makes you feel a certain way. It's an objective perspective, I think. Like, it's an opportunity to have something like on a piece of paper, or if you're writing a song, you have a physical sense of the thing. It's not just something that I spoke about and now does not exist anymore.
Right. Now, you are a songwriter.
I am, yes.
Right. And besides doing music therapy, you write your own songs for singing and performing?
Yes, yeah, performing,
Do you record also?
I do record.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And you've done a lot of other things, because you told me a little bit about some of the other things. The legacy was fascinating, but also working with teenagers. What is that about, and how does that feel?
That's my current job, and it's absolutely incredible. I work with teenagers who are 15 years old and below, but mostly around like 14, 15 years old. It's such an awkward age.
It is. I have a 16-year-old.
It's such an awkward age. But I do a lot of songwriting with them, and they're just starting to kind of feel themselves, and they're starting to feel. They're starting, they don't know how they fit in this world, and really helping them see that they're not this alien. They're not alone.
It must feel like you're not a child and you're not an adult. You're something else, whatever that might be.
You're in the in-between.
In between, yes. Now, is this, if I may ask, is this a part of the school system, or is this private?
No, I work with teens who have been arrested for some crimes.
Okay.
And it's just fascinating.
It sounds like it would be very, very powerful. I've always heard about acting classes and drama that can be good for that, for teens to express themselves. Excuse me. But also, I guess, music would make sense.
Yeah, well, the thing about it too is that the teenagers are actually excited to come in and express themselves, and they're invested. They're motivated. This is something that they want to do. It's a coping mechanism. It's a way for them to express themselves even outside of the therapy room. They work on songs on their own. They come in, we record, we talk about them. And then, then we also talk about other subjects or things that they can write about, moving forward. And it really, it's like I find it such an incredible way for them to process a lot of the things that are happening in their life.
Now that comes back to what we were originally talking about, music therapy. It seems, because I wasn't sure what that was, but as I listened to what you just said, I can imagine a person trying to process their feelings through song.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not just listening to something, but it is trying to sing about it, what a release it could be.
Yes, you know, a lot of, exactly, you know, a lot of trauma work is just sort of connecting to that part in your body or that feeling, and really expressing it in a safe way. And a lot of the work in music therapy talks about a container. That's a big thing in therapy, but you know, the belief is that the musical form is the container, because you know that it's going to be A, B, or whatever the form is, and that is a safe place for you to improvise, perform, sing, freestyle, free association. In rapping, a lot of the kids that I work with rap, and it's a steady beat. You know what the beat's going to be. You know pretty much how long it's going to be. And it's almost like a free association. The kids sometimes don't even write anything down and just rap.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Now the question would be, how did you find your way here? What was your journey that took you from wherever you were to doing this wonderful work?
You know, I kind of stumbled on it by accident.
A lot of times we do.
It was so funny. I had a friend who I played in a band with many years ago, and he sort of disappeared off the face of the planet. And we got in touch. I got in touch with him, and you know, it's like, where are you? And he sent me an article written by one of my mentors, Dr. Diane Austin, who's done a lot of vocal work, and I just read it, and I thought, okay, well, you know, I'm a musician, I'm a songwriter, I'm a vocalist, I'm a guitarist, and I was working, you know, so many jobs that I really just didn't care for. And I had this idea in my head that I want to play music, I want to get paid, and if I have to work for a living, I need it to be meaningful.
Sounds like a pretty good formula.
Yeah. So that's how I got there.
Well, then what? So you went then to school, or what?
Oh, yes.
I know you had to go to school, but I mean, how did you? You just decided, okay, this is what I'd like to do, and I'm going to go to school for it?
I checked out the Nordhoff Robbins Center for Music Therapy. They're a research center in NYU. And you can just call them and go see some of their videos. They film every single session that they do. And I was fascinated by them.
Do they let people just, if they call up, come in and see? Say that again on. So
sure, I have the phone number by heart.
Well, put it out. This is what it is. The name again?
It's an incredible little tiny hole in the wall that's somehow related to NYU. It's a research center called the Nordhoff Robbins Center for Music Therapy. Their phone number is 212-998-5151. And you can just call them and go there and see this incredible breadth of work. I mean, it's just so incredible. So I went there, I did some research, I saw some of their videos, and then I decided to apply for the NYU Master's Program for Music Therapy. And then I did 2 years of a master's program. And I graduated, and I got a job working at a school with emotionally disturbed children. I was there for 2 years, and then I moved on, and now I'm working independently.
That's fascinating. That you went to graduate school. When you're in your undergraduate years, was music part of that, or was that just something you loved to do all the time?
No, I've been a musician for I started late in my life. I was 18 when I started. But I went to school, my undergraduate degree was in cultural anthropology, so I was not a psych major, I was not a music major. But, and that's not a requirement to be a music major, but it's a very big part of it, the theory aspect and the musicianship.
You would have to have the musicianship,
yes.
That would obviously be a big part of it. That's wonderful. And I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What do you love best about it? Can you identify that?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's so human. The work is so human, and I learn so much from my clients, my patients. I have been inspired and motivated, and I've grown so much by so many people's stories. The funny thing is just also being so humbled by how powerful music can be, and just sort of being able to get to that space of creation with somebody else and sort of losing yourself in that for a minute. I know that might sound weird, but creating with another person or helping someone else to create something is just so incredibly powerful. And then being able to look back at it and try to identify, what the meaning is, what just happened,
You have good memories of this. Do you keep records at all? But I don't mean, your notes for class, but I mean, are recordings? Do you get to keep any recordings and be able to go back and listen to some of those things?
Right now, I'm actually doing a postgraduate training at the Nordhoff Robbins Center for Music Therapy, and we record everything. But I have recordings. It's just a HIPAA violation. I'm not sharing them. I just, they belong.
No, I wouldn't think of sharing. I was thinking more of you being able to hear them again yourself. Because you have this. It's like looking at a photo album in a sense of, what you've done and what you've been.
Yeah, I don't have too many recordings. I lost a lot of them from the days that I was working in the hospital. Because my computer died, but...
It's the cyber problem.
The cyber problem, yeah.
There's another area you talk about here, and that is disabled, working with developmentally disabled people. That sounds fascinating. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Right now I'm doing my postgraduate training at the center, and so we work a lot with people who have Asperger's, autism, or just developmentally delayed or disabled individuals. And that has been really incredible as well, really providing all people the space to express themselves in music. And that's, a language that everyone understands. Mm. And it doesn't matter if a person can or cannot play music in the way that we think a person should. I think the biggest misconception about music and music therapy is that I have to know how to play, and that's not true. You already do know how to play. You're a human, and I would say, 99.9% of humans are innately musical. And so this is very much the case with this specific population. And it's been really powerful to work with people who are marginalized in a way that don't actually get the opportunity to express themselves or to ask for things, to be heard, to be validated, to yell if they want to be good at something, to play something, to master something, even if it's just a simple composition that we've taught them on resonator. We have resonator bells or hand bells or a drum, or really giving that person that sense of mastery for self-esteem, or even just writing improvised songs about whatever. And bigger, even another thing too, is creating a social atmosphere in groups where each person has a part to play, an instrument or a part to sing, and really helping group cohesion. That's a really incredible feeling to be.
Sounds quite wonderful.
Yeah.
It also sounds a little bit like what we may all have done as children, just sing. Just,
Yeah.
group, even with other kids, and even if it didn't make, quote, sense or something like that. It was a lot of fun to do.
We lose the spontaneity. The older we get, we become more afraid of it.
Yeah, but I guess society tells us we should be, we shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you are doing that.
I hope, yeah.
Now, if you were to look ahead, what would you like to see happen with this? And what would your career look like as you go ahead?
Oh, I really enjoy working with teenagers. And I'm really interested today in doing preventative work with teenagers who have a risk of becoming substance abusers or are substance abusers. Can
you define that a little bit? Preventative? I mean, it's a great term,
Sure.
and I like the idea. How does that work, in your opinion?
I'm learning. I'm doing a lot of research now, but just providing at-risk teenagers with the tools to express themselves in a safe manner, which in the music, and also doing group work with these teenagers to help them identify feelings and create strong emotional bonds with other teenagers, and also providing them with a safe structure to express themselves in the music and also outside. I think that there's a lot of harm reduction in that, because I think that sometimes what ends up happening is when we're that age, we don't know how to deal with all these crazy feelings.
Right.
And really giving that opportunity to someone to say, hey, you're okay. And another thing is that self-esteem aspect and a sense of purpose. Writing a song, performing that in a space, it's a powerful experience.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And also, what you seem to deal with in that case is people who have a lot of frustrations. This could be a way of letting go of those frustrations,
Yeah.
and moving through them.
Yeah.
And having
much
fun.
so.
I mean, when do they get to have fun? I mean,
Very much so.
our world does not allow for a lot of fun. So.
Nope. And it's something that it's sort of, a lot of teenagers do this, even on their own.
Yes.
Write songs or write poems, and a way to be listened to, even in a group of, when, we're so obsessed with being on our machines and so isolated, we don't have any more groups or sharing or listening and identifying with other people and their feelings. We have this facade that's always thrown on us that we have to be a certain way. And, life is messy. Life is so messy. Feelings are messy. We're just, it's just sort of creating an experience of being human.
That sounds wonderful. I wish you very well with that, Orly.
Thank you.
Now, Orly, if somebody would like to find out more from you directly and or work with you, how would they get in touch with you? What's the best way for them to reach you?
Email or phone.
Either one, whatever you're comfortable with.
My email is Orly, Orly, S like Sarah, Bendavid, Ben like Nancy, Dav like Victor, ID, @gmail.com.
Good. Well, they can reach out to you if they're interested. This is fascinating work. You are fascinating, and I wish you very well with this. Our guest has been Orly Bendavid, and we appreciate all that you've told us about music therapy and what you do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
The Heart of Healing has been brought to you by Family Health, a wellness company. Working with our product partner, the Shackley Corporation, we offer 3 ways to help. First, all natural vitamins and supplements. Second, safe and effective weight management. And thirdly, outstanding non-toxic cleaning products. For more information, Call us at 212-978-3721. That's 212-978-3721. Family Health, a wellness company.